This is so wrong. It hurts boxing because of what Conor McGregor and Floyd did, and now you're going to top it off with a draw? It's not even realistic. Be for real, man.
Things that a DCAF would say. Oh, we're not done. The comedy continues.
We are live right now with Omar Miller.
How you feel?
The Ozone Podcast. Zito.
I'm upset is how I am. That's how I am.
Big O, why are you upset?
I'm going to tell you why I'm mad, son.
Yeah, tell me.
Because I just witnessed a robbery with no gun. 118 to 110. We need the yellow tape. Is that his mom? That was the ref? Was that his mom? That was
Ask
the judge?
Zito who was the ref. He told me. Ask him.
Who was the ref? Chuck, who's the ref? Stevie, the judge. I think Stevie saw it the ref. 118, 110. If you're gonna rig a fight, make it close. Make it close so that people don't feel like they're getting jobbed. I'm a huge boxing fan, and this is why eventually we're gonna lose out to MMA and UFC, because you never have to wonder who actually wins that fight. Exactly. Canelo was just happy to not get knocked out. From rounds 3 through 9, he ran and got the shit beat out of him. Now, what you did see is that he had a crazy chin. He did show a monster chin.
Oh my God. Woo! This dude had a podcast, y'all. He got a boxing podcast. Yeah, DCAF. Dude says he's a huge boxing fan who knows nothing about boxing. As Roger Mayweather would say, most people don't know shit about boxing. Woo! Hey, let's see. Let's get some more out of this comedy here, if we can get some more. He doesn't even know the difference between a judge and a ref. God damn it. Let's keep it going.
And Monster Hard, he tried to fight back. He didn't have anything left.
He had balls like Chuck Zito.
He got dominated that fight. Maximum, I give him 5 rounds. And I'm giving him love. You're giving him love for 5. Majority decision, Triple G. You knew they were going to rig one. One of the judges rigged it so that they thought Canelo beat Mayweather. No chance, man. This is why it's all messed up. Tune into the Ozone Podcast. You'll hear the rest.
The Ozone, Big O, Omar Miller. Glad you made it to the fight.
Me too.
But a rematch now, it looks like.
Count me out. Yeah, that's it. Count me out. Count me out.
What are you,
I already said what I needed to say.
What are you talking about? You got left in Triple G.
I'm just trying to find a locker room so I can tell him how much he got.
You make a left through those 2 doors.
Which one? This way.
No, this way.
This is the guy that picked Pacquiao to beat Mayweather. Omar Miller. True boxing fan. Oh God. Hey, let's move on.
He knows. Brendan knows. Hey, what do you think, Julio? Julio.
Meanwhile, Mr. Mexican Style himself, they're going to ask him who he thinks won the fight. Here we go.
Campeón, what did you think? The draw? Canelo win. Canelo win? How much? 5, 7? 7, 5?
7 rounds. Compadrito, un chulo, güey.
You heard Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. He said Canelo wins. Thank you, campeón.
There you go. So Chavez says Canelo wins. Ooh, you know when a DCAF don't know shit about boxing, man. But Mr. Mexican Style, you remember GGG says Canelo wasn't fighting Mexican Style. Well, Mr. Mexican Style thinks that Canelo won, all right? What are you going to say now? Mr. Mexican Style. You remember it's a Mexican holiday, right? Mr. Mexican Style thinks Canelo wins 7 rounds to 5. How you like that? Mr. Omar Miller, the judge with the 10-8. Oh, that judge don't know boxing, right? Okay. Whatever, casual. And you got a boxing podcast? Jesus Christ. You big misinforming people. Y'all, I don't know why y'all even do it. You love boxing, but you don't know what the hell you watching. That's all I'm saying. All right, here's Ellie Sek back again. This time it's an interview with Canelo. Listen to this. This, I think, is very interesting. Because I think this sums up everything. And this is a point I'm trying to make. Let's go.
He knows boxing.
I know. Canelo, you learned a lot from Mayweather. You had a lot of his moves. Did you pick a lot?
Yo creo que el rival te da la pauta. El rival te da la pauta para hacer muchas cosas. Mi equipo de trabajo siempre me enseñaron eso, a defenderme también. Pero el rival es el que te da la pauta. Hicimos esta pelea así porque la trabajamos para hacerla así. Entonces, estoy muy contento con lo que hice esta noche.
You took his best shot and you smiled.
I always say the opponent always brings out the best of of you. You know, you need two to tango. My team has always taught me defensive moves in boxing. Now, from an early age, I'm very happy with the work we've done.
Canelo fought a risky fight that other people haven't fought with Golovkin by staying on the ropes. Was he showcasing his defense, or why did he choose to stay on the ropes in certain spots?
De alto riesgo. Es una pelea que no cualquiera ha hecho con él. Pero ¿por qué lo hiciste? Porque sabes que tienes
La verdad siempre me gusta sentir al rival, me gusta que el rival me dé la pauta para hacer cosas y me sentía cómodo en las cuerdas también y por eso lo hice, porque podía hacerlo.
Saúl siente rabia de lo que sucedió. The reply was, look, I always like to feel out my opponent and feel, and I felt comfortable on the ropes. I didn't feel like in any danger, so I was able to do it.
That's what Mayweather does. And that's why I said to you guys that Canelo reminds me a lot of Floyd Mayweather. In fact, to me, it was like Floyd Mayweather fighting Triple G, if you ask me. Just a bigger, stronger version of Floyd Mayweather. So people wanted to know what would happen if Triple G faced Floyd Mayweather. This is what would happen. All right? He'd get dominated. He wouldn't get dominated, but he would get schooled. All right? It's kind of like Guillermo Rigondeaux versus Vasily Lomachenko. That's exactly what's going to happen to Lomachenko. He's going to get taken to school with Guillermo Rigondeaux. That's why Bob Arum hasn't given Rigo a contract to sign yet, because he knows what will happen if that style of boxing meets Vasily Lomachenko. Lomachenko's a fantastic, active, he's a very action-packed fighter. And Bob Arum doesn't want to risk that against Guillermo Rigondeaux because he doesn't feel like Guillermo Rigondeaux can sell like Lomachenko. And plus, he knows it's going to be the end of Lomachenko when Rigo's done with him. It's just what it is. Just what it is. When somebody's a master of something, it's different to someone who's good at it. Lomachenko's good at what he does. Rigo's a master. You understand? There's just levels to this shit. Okay? Now, back in, I can't remember what year, Ellie Seckbach interviewed Gabe Rosado. And Gabe Rosado said this about Canelo. Listen.
We were talking about Chavez. How does Mayweather's 49-0 record compare to Chavez's 89-0 record? Before Chavez lost, he was 89-0, and Mayweather's not retired.
Yeah, I remember Chavez is, I think he's the all-time great when it comes to the Mexicans, to the Mexican fighters.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I wrote the season. When it comes to the Mexican fighters, I think he's the all-time great.
Yeah.
But, his 89-0 record, a lot of those fights in between were just guys that we never heard of.
Yeah.
And but that doesn't take anything away from Chavez, because you gotta remember, I think Chavez was fighting every month.
Yeah, basically. But he has the most titles, he's beaten the most world champions, I think.
Yeah. No, Chavez, Chavez is definitely on my top 10 when it comes to the greats.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's a different era. Chavez and Mayweather is a different era.
Yeah.
You feel me?
You understand? Again, Gabe speaks some truth. It is a different era. Chavez had to stay busy fights to basically stay sharp. So he wasn't a guy that just stayed in the gym and sparred with people. He liked to stay busy fights. So that's what you saw. And the sanctioning bodies didn't sanction those fights. So there were fights back in Mexico, for instance. So you just to stay busy, stay in shape. That was Chavez's way of staying in shape. So that 89-0 is not really 89-0. But then again, Floyd's 49-0 is not really 49-0 either, or 50-0. Sorry, my bad. Floyd's 50-0 is not really 50-0. What you got to look at is his championship fights, his higher level, higher tier fights. Okay? So when Floyd got to his 18th fight, so if you subtract 50 from 18, then you get all the fucking fights that Floyd fought. So for instance, 50 take away 18 is fucking 32 fucking good fights that Floyd had in his career. Hard ass fights, top level fights. 30 fucking 2, okay? I don't think Chavez has as much as Floyd in that respect. So what you always look at in a boxer's career is who they fought, who they beat, So Floyd's 50-0 is solid. I don't think there's nobody else in boxing history that has that kind of level of competition consistently throughout their career. The bulk of his fights in his 50 fights were legit fights against championship level competition we're talking about. And that's serious. That's serious. Nobody else in the history of boxing did it like that and did it so consecutively back to back like Floyd did it. And that's crazy. It's crazy. That's what makes Floyd different and special. But Julio Cesar Chavez, he fought the greats of his day. He fought the greats of his time. Some of the greats he didn't get an opportunity to face, and we're not mad at him. You know, we can always, like I said, you can always look at a boxer and pick apart them. But what I don't like is how they scrutinize and pick apart Floyd. So what I did with my counter arguments, you see, is I would pick apart the pastime greats and show them why they're doing wrong to Floyd. You understand what I'm saying? You can't be overcritical of Floyd and then not overcritical of the greats. Then you're being a fucking hypocrite. You know what I'm saying? You got to be consistent. If you're going to say something about somebody here, you got to be consistent about this other person, and so on, and so on, and so on. But this is not the point of this video, so let's keep it rolling.
What Mayweather did is he did something different. He capitalized on the money, on how much money a fighter could make. Because look, Chavez was 89-0.
Yeah.
But he had nothing to show for it. Because he didn't make the type of money that he should have.
Yeah.
Whether he mismanaged his money or whatever, it doesn't matter how it played out. He didn't make the type of money that he could have potentially, that he could have really made.
Yeah.
As far as Floyd looked at it as a business. I think Chavez looked at it more as just being el gran campeón, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And Floyd looked at it as, I'm going to capitalize and make the most out of it.
Yeah.
So they're great in different levels. They're great. They're both great, you know what I'm saying?
What is Cotto going into this fight? Puerto Rico versus Mexico. A win over Canelo, what would that mean for the Puerto Ricans, the Boricos like you and the PR people?
Yeah, man. I'm saying, to me, it's just, you know what I mean, to me, it has nothing to do with race.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I know for the fans get caught up with that.
Yeah.
You know, to me, it's just a great fight with two good champions.
Yeah.
I mean, Canelo being a young Mexican warrior and, you know, Cotto being the, you know, the more experienced, you know, Boricua or whatever.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's going to be a good fight, man. I got it even. I got it 50-50, you know what I'm saying? It go either way.
Yeah. A lot of people think that Canelo's going to walk through him. And I was talking to Somoto. Somoto said you don't walk through Cotto, you walk into punches.
Yeah, you're not going to walk through Cotto, you know what I'm saying? He fought the best. You're not going to walk through Cotto. And Canelo doesn't have the style to walk through a guy.
Yeah.
Because Canelo's characteristic in the ring is not to go in there and walk you down and take you out. You know, Canelo kind of wants to box. He kind of mimics Floyd.
Yeah.
I mean, it's funny that a lot of people, you know, they talk down on Floyd, but Canelo actually wants to be like Floyd.
Yeah.
Think about it. Look at how Canelo fights. He fights just like Floyd. The only difference is he punches harder.
Yeah.
So he's able to take a guy out.
Yeah.
If Floyd had punching power, he probably won't be as boring, you know, to the fans. But if you look at Canelo, he fought on a lot of Floyd undercards. This is his style. You know, he's doing this, he's rolling. I mean, he's doing a lot of this stuff. You know, he carries his hand right here. When a guy throws, he shoots the uppercut. He does a lot of Floyd Mayweather shit. You know what I'm saying? So you know, I think if it's a chess match, I think Cotto might have an advantage. I think Canelo has to, kind of mix it up. He has to box, but he has to apply a lot of pressure. I mean, because if he's in there, you know, just jabbing with Cotto, I think Cotto's a better boxer.
All right, tell the family to follow you.
Yeah, King God Rosado.
Instagram,
Twitter, and Snapchat.
Sure.
Right. I just wanted to share that because Gabe Rosado was the first guy to identify that Canelo fights a lot like Mayweather. Now, don't get it twisted. Like Canelo said, you have to have the fundamentals, right? You're not trying to imitate Mayweather because imitating Mayweather would lead to him getting destroyed, okay? So Canelo really has his own way. He's really Canelo, okay? But what I'm saying is he has a lot of commonalities with Floyd. Actually, if you guys go and watch, I think it was a video back in 2009 or 2008 when Floyd discovered Canelo. Oscar got Canelo. And Floyd was like, this is going to be the next great one. Floyd actually pointed out Canelo and he told Oscar, you got a gem. This is going to be the next great one. Floyd knew just by watching Canelo fight and stuff that this dude was not normal. You know what I'm saying? And today, you know who it is now. You know Canelo is the best. He is the cash cow right now in the world. And he's going to become pound for pound #1 if Andre Ward doesn't have anything to say about that. he'll become pound for pound number one. And the thing about Canelo, he takes on big challenges. Like the fans say, fight Triple G. Canelo made it happen. Okay, he doesn't exactly. He has somewhat his promotional company, but still under Oscar. You know what I'm saying? But Canelo, he made it happen. Now, I want to get to my mentor, my father, the man who got me into boxing in a serious way, Mr. Barry Robinson, Million Size Boxing. Please pay attention to what he has to say.
Okay, mind is primary. That's a little bit of a brain right there, but mind is primary. Mind is primary. Mind is primary. So, I have a few questions for you guys about Triple G versus Canelo Alvarez, and just some questions. I'm not thinking about popular thought. I'm not thinking about popular opinion. I'm not thinking about my own personal feelings about each fighter. Let me start with my first question. You guys can answer these questions for me, please, or just chime in, and I'll do my best to make sure I respond to everybody. You guys get a little look of Istanbul as I walk through to the hood. You guys can see that a little bit. Not much, but we're going to walk down to the water. You guys can see that. Okay, so my first question is, Triple G normally lands very effective punches. Very. When he hits people, they normally don't finish rounds or even finish fights. So my first question is, how many effective punches, okay, two questions. How many effective punches did Triple G land? That's my first one. And two, at what point, what are you doing, Natasha? And at what point was Canelo hurt in that fight at all? So two questions. How many effective punches did Triple G land in the fight? Like, effective. And two, at what point in the fight was Canelo hurt? Walter McCullough, I have to agree with you. Triple G missed a lot that fight. He missed a whole lot. Let's see what other answers we have here. I'm sorry, I don't know that this decision was terrible just because you say it's terrible. That's just, it's a debatable comment. Just like what I'm saying is debatable, which is why I posed my first two questions. Again, my questions are, what effective punches did Triple G land all night? And two, at what point in the fight was Canelo Alvarez hurt? Anybody chime in? I'll wait. Okay, so I hear you, the sweet science. You said the jab landed mostly all night. Now, did those jabs all land to Canelo's face? If they all landed to Canelo's face, explain to me why Canelo's face wasn't swollen, his eye wasn't swollen, he didn't have any cuts. Explain to me the lack of damage in the shots. They drive like they're trying to kill you here. They don't care. Yeah, I watched the post-fight, but you know when you come to my channel, champ, you got to talk about boxing. You can't talk about people talking. You can't talk about what some old dude said that's been in boxing 30 years. You have to talk about boxing. Boxing. Now, as I was saying, when Triple G hits people, we know that they've been hit a lot. We know that they've been hit hard, and we know that they either get knocked out or it's impossible for them to finish a fight. So what effective punches, one more time, did Triple G land that were flush punches to Canelo's face? And to piggyback off of that question, let's ask another question. how many effective clean punches did Canelo land? I don't care if Triple G didn't move back. How many flush punches did Triple G land? That's my question. To answer your question, Roly Poly, I forget how to pronounce your name on here, but hopefully you guys can hear me. It's prayer time in Istanbul right now. But I thought that Canelo should have did a lot more footwork drills. And what I mean by that is, I'll have to explain this to you guys when I get a little bit more quiet. So what I mean by that is 3-minute footwork drills, 24 to 26 rounds of drills. I'm not talking about shadow boxing. I'm not talking about moving around the ring, doing fancy stuff. I'm talking about drills. If he would have done drills, his legs would have had the condition to do what he wanted to do. But I think somewhere in camp they messed up. They got stronger. He was still quick, but his legs ran out of steam. So I would say that he would need to do more drills, basically. As far as Triple G is concerned, what I really don't like to see from a professional fighter is a professional fighter making excuses. So, for example, Triple G, following a long line of Eastern European fighters, what they say when a guy moves is, oh, he was moving a lot. And guess who else had that problem? Nonito Donaire. Nonito Donaire claimed that he couldn't beat so-and-so or this guy or that guy because they were moving. Well, isn't it your issue as a world champion to deal with a person that's moving, walking, running? Isn't that your job as a professional world champion? So my point is with Nonito Donaire is he can't make excuses the same way Triple G should not be making excuses. Triple G should not be saying after a fight as a professional, well, the guy was moving. That clearly shows, in my opinion, that he was very frustrated. He was extremely frustrated, one. And two, he was frustrated because of the things that Canelo was doing. So Canelo must have been doing something right for Triple G to not to be able to even be in position. Understand what I'm saying? For him to even be in position to not even to be able to land, a solid shot. That screams volumes to me right there. That's all I'm saying. Anybody could chime in on that as you guys wish.
I'm gonna stop right there. That's my father, my boxing father, Barry Robinson. Have respect, folks. This man knows his boxing. All right, he trains guys who are becoming world champions. So, shout out to Barry Robinson as he's in Istanbul, Turkey. Now, I put out these videos because, first of all, does anyone know who this boxer is? Javier Haragui. Anybody knows who he is? Okay. Javier Haragui was the lightweight champion of the world. He was trained by Shepo, alright, and Eddie Reynoso, okay? The Reynosos trained him. And he had all the fundamentals. He was also the sparring partner of Canelo Alvarez. So Canelo Alvarez has an all-round boxing pedigree, okay? Now, he died at the age of 40, which is the age Floyd is at right now. But in sparring, I think. Something happened in sparring and he died. But let me just say this. That Canelo has been groomed very, very, very well. And when I tell you that Gennady Golovkin straight up and down, no special effects. And when I talk about Canelo having special effects, I know what I'm talking about, all right? So for people who know about boxing, they know what special effects are. And just for you to understand, very simply, it is little tricks in the bag where things are not what they appear to be. The timing of Canelo is not exactly what you think it is. So when you think you pick up on the timing, he changes it up. The distance, he changes distance or range. Canelo will operate inside and outside of your preferred range. So you heard the commentator say Gennady Golovkin is looking for his preferred range on Box Nation. He couldn't find it. He was fishing with the jab. See, the jab is his key to find range. Problem with that is Canelo has a way of offsetting a jab or nullifying a jab. And you saw that throughout. Gennady Golovkin's jab was pretty much a non-issue. If Canelo wanted to come in on Gennady Golovkin, he did. He used a whole set of feints to make it happen. Set traps. You know, made Gennady Golovkin think he was going to be here and he wasn't there. You know, feinted. You know, he made Gennady Golovkin think that he was going to do this move, and he did another move. You know, set him up real easy. He got into position. He'd creep into position with the pivots and then just spring the trap like Floyd does, like Pernell Whitaker did, like Bernard Hopkins did, like Andrew Ward does, like all smart, skilled, slick black fighters do. Canelo showed you another dimension to Mexican fighting. See, Canelo was right. There's no such thing as a Mexican style. There are Mexicans who do exciting fights. And they sometimes throw combinations. And Canelo said, well, I throw the left hook like a Mexican. But that don't mean, you know, like most Mexican fighters do. But that doesn't mean there's a Mexican style. Canelo was right. And he showed, and the fact that Julio Cesar Chavez says that Canelo won that fight. He's Mr. Mexican style, right? In inverted commas. Why is Julio Cesar Chavez saying that? Because Julio Cesar Chavez understood what Canelo was going up against. He was the smaller guy fighting a bigger guy. And you have to use defense. Defense makes you win fights. You got to have defense, which is what Gennady Golovkin doesn't have like Canelo does. So Canelo has the luxury of staying on the ropes. Canelo has the luxury of fighting in the center of the ring. Canelo has the luxury of pushing Gennady Golovkin back. Canelo has the luxury of circling the ring. Canelo has the luxury of moving to the corners and beckoning Gennady Golovkin in and setting traps. He's got all kinds of options in that ring because guess what? He got defense. Defense makes you win fights. Defense! All right. So I thought he was going to stop Gennady Golovkin, but he didn't use enough combinations. He didn't work the body enough to stop him. But man, Gennady Golovkin winced every time and made a step back every time Canelo ripped a body shot. Next fight, Canelo, work the body a little bit more. Soften him up a little bit more to the body. Just keep on working his body. You put in that body work. You can feint to the head. You can land a couple of headshots to make him guess. But go to the body religiously on this dude. I hope you guys get the rematch in, man. I hope Canelo stops him then. You know, I'll be strong enough to stop him then. Because I really think Canelo can stop this dude. I think he can stop him. But he couldn't stop him in this fight. He had to put in more groundwork. He was really working the body. And he worked the spleen. Man, he would drop that shot right there on the belt line. Sometimes he hit him in the sternum. He jabbed to the pit nicely. He jabbed to the center of the chest nicely. You know, he was vicious too and explosive. But you got to do it a little bit more, Canelo. And you got to get a little bit more of your conditioning in order. Like you say, you may need to do, as my dad said, Barry Robinson, you might need to do some more footwork drills. All right? And then you're going to get it sweet, brother. But you can box, man. They didn't think you could do it. But I knew it. I knew it all along. I knew this is what was going to happen. So, yeah. Gennady Golovkin, he's pretty tough, though. He's pretty tough. But, you know, some of the punches were arm punches that Canelo did off the ropes. But he still came from low. He really cranked those arm punches up. Remind me of what Conor McGregor landed on Floyd, actually. In the Conor McGregor-Floyd Mayweather fight. You know what was the other ironic thing, man? I just want to say in this video before I end. You guys know you get some serious nutritional value here on boxing. You come to my channel, I'll give you nutrition. But the other thing I thought was very ironic is Floyd fought like how Canelo usually fights opponents against Conor McGregor, a bigger, longer, stronger guy than himself. And Canelo actually fought like Floyd would against a bigger, longer, stronger guy. So I thought that was an irony that the Mexican style, or the so-called Mexican toe-to-toe fight, ended up being a Mayweather fight. And the Mayweather fight ended up being a Mexican toe-to-toe fight. It's just one of those things. You guys have a great one. Any questions you have, leave them in the comment section below. I'll try to leave the link to Barry Robinson's Million Stars Boxing and Eric Bradley's page, Master Boxing. If you really want to talk boxing, come to my channel. If you want to talk shit, then go somewhere else. You guys have a great one.